Hey, so I thought I'd start making videos, kind of capture like the process of sliding into an RV life. I'm an RV noob, so maybe some of the stuff I post will be interesting or educational to other people who are just getting into it or just curious about it. And maybe just entertaining to people that are more experienced and watching me go, oh my god. So that's my RV. It's my first RV. I started big and I did that on purpose because I needed a washer and I wanted to make sure I had a little bit of space to live in because it's gonna be my full-time home. And I looked up different models that had certain features, such as having like a washer and dryer hookup. And within my price range, there were only a handful of models that had that. And this was one of them, and there were a couple of these for sale. And I had a pretty good sense of like what the pricing should be based on that, and like the reports that I can't remember the name of now that kind of talk about like what the resale pricing should be. And yeah, like this whole thing has been a thing. I started this a couple of months ago and I thought, I will buy an RV and I'll be moved into it within like a month to 6 weeks. And it has been months. Just the process of purchasing the RV took like 6 weeks or something, and then so let me get my thoughts together because I'm not gonna edit this. You're just gonna get it. You're gonna get it as is. The dog is distracting me. I'm probably distracting the dog, so there's probably like a symbiotic relationship of distraction happening right now. But so basically I was renting from a friend. I'm on disability. I've got like a long list of health issues, and rude. So I'm on a fixed income, and my friend decided to raise the rent, and not by like a little, not like a reasonable amount. Although if you're helping somebody who's on a fixed income and you already know that they're using their savings because you're already charging more than they can pay on a fixed income, and then you raise the rent, you're probably not actually helping them. But I still felt really grateful that I was able to live in a house on what I have coming in. And she raised the rent by $1,500, and I can't even, on my fixed income, I can't even afford to rent like low income housing because they'll like slide it, but it doesn't go low enough in my area. And Section 8 would be where I would be at for my income, but Section 8 isn't. Most of the counties haven't opened up to accept applications in 5 or more years. It's a lottery system that you could be waiting for a decade to even get picked. So I did sign up for it. I did do all the things, but I'm not counting on that. I signed up for it in another county that was opened up, which means that my statistical chance of getting it is even lower. But something's better than nothing, right? So I didn't know what to do because my doctors are here. And my son was like, well, why don't you get an RV? We don't know anything about RVs, but I was like, okay, let's do that. Start looking into it. And it seems feasible. And so I went through the process, found a model that sounded good, or found there were like 3 or 4, but basically the first time I messaged with the seller, the previous owner of the Teton that I have, I was like, I want to buy from this person. Good vibe. You could tell that they wanted the sale to succeed, not just because they wanted to make money, but because they wanted it to work out for me too. And that's really rare to find, and when the opportunity comes up, it's like, grab it. Especially because like the Teton is a 2004, but if you go through it, it's like in really good condition. It does not look like somebody was living in it for several years, full time, with cats even. Like there's a little bit of wear and tear from the cats, but nothing really. And it's got solar, it's got a robust solar setup, which was a big selling point, because I won't have shore power. I will have access to a 20 amp circuit, but I'm not going to have like the full 50 that a Teton needs, so I'm not relying on that. I'll rely on the solar. And basically just dove into the deep end without figuring out how to swim, and was like, I'll figure it out when I get there, and I'm drowning. And that's kind of what's been happening. It took a really long time for the purchase to go through. I decided during the purchase, I was in the process of packing all my stuff and putting everything in storage, because I knew that I wasn't going to be going back into a house. So I sold stuff, got rid of stuff, donated stuff, and then everything else went into storage. And as soon as I was done with that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go drive down to Arizona where the RV is and get the RV. So I did that, and did like a road trip, and I podcasted during it. So if you're like interested in that, you can go check out my podcast. But and the previous owner was nice enough to actually go over the RV with me and like show me all the things, and I made a video so I can like sort of reference that when I get into a situation where I know to reference that. Sometimes I'm kind of like not sure. Right now it's like I don't know what I know kind of thing, or I don't know what I don't know. Both. So went down, saw it, slept in overnight. That helped tremendously, because I was feeling very like, what the heck am I doing? And then when the time came to transport it, I found a transport person, but he was not being a nice person. So the seller was like, you know what, I'll transport it for you, and drove it up to, I got the roof redone, which I'll talk about that another time. And she like drove it up there, and then they didn't have an appointment until beginning of August, so it waited a couple of weeks. So at this point it had been about 2 months. And then it took them about a week to work on it. I got transport, and this just got here like basically a week ago. And the transport company, I'm not sure what happened, but there's a part on the suspension that broke. I don't know what the part is called. I just know that it's on the suspension. It caused the wheels to come together, and then the wheels were rubbing. And I'll show you. So you can see here that the tires are touching, and there's a broken ass part there. Check out this tire, and that's like the transport company was driving it like that and didn't even notice. He didn't check the tires or anything. So it came to me broken. It was not like this when the seller dropped it off. I have been assured that that's not an uncommon like wear and tear problem to have on, so I don't really know that I should be chasing it, but I am going to email them and be like, hey, the person that you had driving is not professional. They didn't check the tires. He didn't really understand how the leveling jacks worked, and yeah. This is where the batteries live. There's I think those are like controllers or something. I don't know. I'm still learning. So the batteries were working, and now they're not. They were working when the seller dropped it off, and then by the time the roof place was done working on it, they're not. You can see that they're bulging, so they're super old, which I knew about that. And I knew that they were going to need to be replaced but because they were working fine, I was hoping to get a couple months out of them and get time to learn the system, learn about what I needed so that I could then replace the batteries. So the RV showed up and it was broken and needs to be fixed. The place can't fix it until the 11th of September. So I got a couple of weeks, and then I got to figure out the solar, and the local solar places are either like, it's too complicated, or they want $300 an hour. So not only did I end up with a really big RV that I have a lot to learn about, and I've been reading and, you know, saving articles and listening, and yeah, but it also came to me broken with stuff that I'm going to have to deal with and learn about as well, and it's pretty overwhelming. While I'm waiting for the suspension work to be done, I'm just going to do like little things. Like today I am going to be flushing the black water tank. It should only have a couple of peas in it, so it shouldn't be horrible, but it doesn't work the way I thought. Like when I looked at it, it's not how I imagined it. So that's gonna be fun. I had a composting toilet put in, so I can't put anything in through the toilet, like soap or whatever. And I kind of thought like the flushing system was like I would be able to just like put soap and stuff in there, but I'm not really sure if I can do that, so I'm gonna have to go Google that when I'm done with this. You probably already know the answer, but that's something I have to learn, because I wanted to put a little Dawn soap in there. Since I have a composting toilet installed, I got a Nature's Head. I'm not gonna need the black water tank, so I just want to make sure that it's not too gross. And then I want to vacuum and start cleaning. There are other things that I need to figure out, like do the leveling jacks work on shore power, so I could level it to put out the slide outs so that I could actually start cleaning and getting the interior ready. I don't know. You would know that, but I don't know that. So I'm gonna find that out shortly as well. And if it doesn't work and I need DC to do that, I'm going to have to look into getting like a temporary like battery, and then I'm not even sure how to correctly hook that up into the system so that the solar doesn't like kill the battery or whatever. So I have a lot on my plate to figure out. I'm swimming. This is it's not going as I expected, but it's going exactly like how things go in my life. Like this is just, anybody that's known me for any amount of time knows that everything is always more complicated for me than it needs to be. And my toxic positive spin on it is that I get an opportunity to learn things in a way that's gonna like hardwire them, because I really have to deal with it. I'm not just gonna be passively reading about it just in case someday it happens. But yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna try to make like some videos while I'm doing stuff. I'll probably be doing things wrong while I'm learning and horrifying people, but yeah, you know, I'm not a fancy video person, so it's not going to be edited to be super fancy, because I don't care about any of that.